we're live.
All right, calling this regular meeting of the Johnson Selectboard to order at 6:30 PM on March 19th. First order of business. Additions or adjustments on the floor? Seeing none. Second order of business, view of invoices and orders, that's going around. Open for public comments and public announcements. Public announcement, while you're passing through? There you go. Pardon me?
Can I do a public comment question?
Of course.
So I take minutes for some other select boards. And at another town select board meeting the other night, their highway supervisor was talking about this federal excise tax that they've been paying on fuel. And he'd always kind of wondered why they weren't exempt from it. And then he found out that there's a form they could submit to get reimbursed. Or actually their fuel supplier could just use a different code so they wouldn't get charged. So I just wanted to make sure Johnson wasn't making that same mistake. Rosemary's nodding her head, you know all that? Yep, right. Okay.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Thanks for watching out for us. That's great.
If you hear any other like sources of money,
Feel free to speak up. All right, next item, select board updates and concerns.
I made a kind of AI grant scanner for some of our projects we have going on in town. So I sent that to some people, and it's going to send out every Friday with 8 grants it finds, if it finds any grants. So if anyone wants to be added to that, let me know. Oh, yeah,
I looked at that, Adrian, and I think it's gonna be a good resource.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's good use of AI, so thanks.
Yeah,
You do want us to look at the criteria and see? I haven't yet.
sure. So how I kind of did it to, I made like a spreadsheet of all like our projects based off of our minutes and some other committees' minutes. So it's a really long list of projects with like descriptions and keywords and stuff like that for AI to like scan through and look for grants that match the criteria. But with that list, I did like go through and rank them, but that's just like my personal opinion. So I don't know, with like the planning meeting, we might wanna,
Yeah. Okay.
the planning meeting, we might wanna go over that spreadsheet and see if we have differing opinions on the ranking of the projects. Yeah.
is it something we all got?
I didn't send it to everyone. I just sent it to people that I thought might apply to grants, but I can
Oh,
put the whole
fine.
board on it if you'd like. Yeah.
Love to see it, but
Okay.
I can't promise I'd apply for any grants.
Sure.
Any others? All right, being none. Item 5, consent agenda. Consider moving the minutes for March 2nd, March 3rd, annual meeting, town meeting, and the minutes from March 4th, our appointments meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Me.
All those opposed?
I'll have to abstain because I was not present for 2 of them.
Okay. The ayes have it. All right, Rosemary, take it away. Clerk and treasurer's reports.
Okay, I handed out the latest budget status report. In April, we should be getting the true up on the school taxes, so that will be adjusted at that point. Hopefully will bring us closer to 100%.
Where is your report in here? Sorry, we get this too many people in this,
Did I steal yours?
No, she passed it out tonight.
I stole yours.
Nice guy. Never mind. Pardon me, Rosemary. Go ahead.
Continue.
And we should be getting our witness to grand list money in this month, usually at the end of March. Budget to actuals, we're at 57%. Spent.
Town report expense was considerably higher than,
I'm gonna take out some of the postage or all the postage and put that in the postage line.
sure. Okay,
Yeah. 'Cause I'll-
that audit expense, are we bringing in revenue from the
Yes.
reserve fund for that?
Yes,
I assume we can all just ask questions.
Please.
We're really high on a lot of select board expenses for 3/4 of the way through the year. Is- The consulting services, was that,
some of that
Yeah.
is grant funded.
okay, general insurance, is that,
That's property insurance.
no, I know what it is, but we pay that quarterly
Or-
on part. Buildings and grounds is pretty high spend already. Probably not.
Probably. Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Anybody else have
Mr.
questions?
Chairman,
Rosemary, anything else to point out?
I asked the chairperson.
Oh, okay.
If I could, if select board members could ask questions, and
Let's see.
I'm good.
Evan has free reign.
I'm good.
Rosemary, anything else you need to point out to us?
I have a liquor license for the Johnson General Store
Renewal,
renewal.
class 2,
Mhm.
motion to approve,
So moved.
no,
You're doing this, John.
second.
Second.
Alright.
That's right. I thought you were asking for. a
No,
motion.
That was great, Paul. That was outstanding.
I
That was really good.
made a motion, Peter seconded, you can call it.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
I,
All those opposed?
Sorry about
Right.
that.
Right, I forgot who was cheering.
So did I.
We're getting there.
Arrested.
At the next meeting, the new restaurant in town by the Woolen Mill has put an application in. He's gonna come before the board
Hmm.
to explain it. He's gonna have, wants a outside consumption application. I told him you guys usually have questions about that,
okay,
Nice.
Good.
but it doesn't sound like he's close to opening, but he wants to get it done with.
Good. Good advances, smart.
And I've been talking to the Jim Barlow, he's one of the attorneys that does tax sales. And he is interested in doing Johnson's. He's gonna send a proposal of what the cost would be. Cause there may be some properties that will not be feasible to go forward with the tax sale. We can only charge up to 15% of the taxes for to go into tax sale, and any cost over that, the town would have to bear.
Say it again, we can only sell it for 50% of it?
He can only charge
Oh, he
15%
can only charge.
to the taxpayer, 15%, say their tax is $100, we can only charge them $15 to do the tax sale. And it may cost $150 to do that tax sale, the town
Right, so
would have
we have
to,
to pay the rest.
we have to pay the difference.
That's why historically we didn't do under 1,000.
Now it's $1,500.
Well, that's good news, because he's a good attorney and he runs a tight ship.
And he said, the break-even point is about $4,500 in taxes. Then I asked him, would you be willing to send a first threatening letter to everybody? And he said he'd be willing to do that. I'm sure at a price, but, you know, some people have, there's a lot of people that don't have $1,500 in tax at this point.
So how does this play out? Does he come present? the
He's gonna
properties that he
send it.
thinks are-
I'm gonna send him the list of what the delinquent taxes are now, and he'll make a proposal up from that.
Okay. So we'll
But
have
he's-
that in a couple of meetings.
Yeah, and he said he would be willing to do the village. But you cannot combine the dollar amounts. So the person would have to have $1,500 in town and village, and the village is unlikely to have $1,500 in taxes.
But also that's their.
Mhm.
Access to Chase, not ours.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks for looking into that.
That's all that I have for tonight.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Rosemary? All right, moving forward, work session. CEDS, Carl Rogers, you are up.
Start with my monthly report.
That'd be great, sure.
So in the written monthly report I sent to you, the first topic is the industrial park and the NBRC grant. Since I prepared this written report, we did receive the draft 9050 permit for the stormwater retention pond in the industrial park. We received that yesterday. It's been posted for public comment. And if there are no public comments, that permit could be issued on April 2nd. That was the biggest hurdle we were facing to get the Act 250 permit. So that was very good news that we received yesterday. The letter that I sent out on February 19th to all the abutters of the industrial park. I checked with the office today to be sure that I knew if anybody had come in, and one of the owners was in the office for some other business and mentioned receiving the letter. The office staff offered to show them the plans, but they weren't interested, and they haven't contacted us. So none of the butters have contacted the office or me expressing any concern about the upcoming application. Regarding the Prindle lot, you'll be dealing with that later under the industrial park matters, and on the Gomo lot and the prime ag soil marking. We don't have any news yet from the attorney who brought up this idea of either fencing, delineating, or signing the prime ag area on the Gomo lot. So still waiting on that one. For the tree clearing, yesterday we held the pre-bid site visit, an optional site visit, and there are about 8 contractors that showed up for that. We talked here for a bit, and then we went over to the site and walked it. There was a lot of good questions, a lot of interest. I think we sounded like we had contractors there who have a lot and very large equipment to smaller contractors who have smaller equipment to use. And they seem to have different approaches to how they might do the work there. I don't know how many bids we're actually going to get. I've been, through construction site visits like this before, and not everybody who turns out for a site visit ends up bidding. So I don't know what we'll see on Monday when we open bids. And after that, bids are opened on Monday. We'll be evaluating them, communicate with you, and then you have your special meeting a week tonight at 6 p.m. to award that, pending the issuance of all the state permits.
Did we schedule that meeting? Or
Paul and John are.
Yeah, that was
on
talked
it.
about at the last meeting.
We did it at the last meeting. We
Yeah, we
picked.
talked about it.
what day next week?
It's the 26th.
Thursday.
My birthday meeting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Paul said, "Oh, I don't want to come on my birthday," and we all said, Don't care.
Too bad.
Okay.
And also, today around noontime, I got an email from the state, inquiring about trees from the industrial park for that Jericho, stream bank restoration project. After weeks of not hearing from them, I received the email today, and they asked about having a virtual meeting on Monday. So I told them we're opening bids at 11:30, so I couldn't be joining them at that time, but so they've rearranged it for me to get on a virtual meeting with them at noon on Monday, so I can report to them how the bids turned out for options 1 and for option 2. So I don't have anything more than what was written regarding the Johnson Visioning Project or about the Welcome Center and the lease agreement. Last week, I did receive a confirmation that from somebody from the property management section that they had it and they were circulating it for signatures, but I haven't heard back from them yet. Regarding the recreation, the economy for rural communities grant, we do have the first call with the EPA Planning Assistance Team on April 23rd. I've rechecked the community guide, which is the handbook for this grant program. And there is no preparation work needed by the local steering committee before call 1. So they'll join the meeting from their home or office or wherever they may be. They don't have to gather here for that first call. But between call 1 and then call 2, which comes at the end of June, we will have to, steering committee will have to meet to do some work, especially on something that's called a community self-assessment. So basically that's like inventorying resources and ideas and challenges that the community might face for trying to develop the recreation economy. Under the Vermont Community Foundations grant, the first one is the playground, and I noted a lot of questions there for you. And I guess the first question is, would you just like to have this as a separate agenda item at a future meeting to talk about that new playground equipment? And maybe have Isabel here for the meeting if she's available, and make some decisions, sort of get everybody on the same page as they say, and then seek bids.
Is the old playground equipment falling apart or something?
I've actually, Mike, I don't know what the condition is of that small equipment.
Pretty
that's
poor.
Times are different. We just had a few swings on slide. Got by just fine.
That was used equipment to begin with.
One board member here, I think it'd be worth having it as a separate agenda item with some bids in front of us, and we can make a decision. Now that the planning process for Legion Field is, we know about the size that we're looking for.
Well, I was just gonna say, we should probably stake it out or figure out
Thinking
what is the size and,
huge.
yeah. It's not what Mike's thinking.
Oh,
The playground equipment. Yeah, well, Isabel did get some,
she got some preliminary estimates.
and she got drawings of playground equipment for different ages. And my understanding is that the community is thinking that that playground equipment at Legion Field should be targeted towards toddlers up to 5 years of age.
We don't need a theme park.
How was that decided before? I'm just curious. Toddler, like,
It was the gap because the elementary
I think it
school.
was just discussed, yeah, what we had existing for playground equipment and what we didn't have, but not like we haven't voted on it or anything.
okay,
Yeah, we haven't voted on the full plan, but
I'm just curious.
the first question was agenda item or not. One board member, I think agenda item on a separate meeting.
That's fine with me.
Others,
You good with
Yeah,
that?
consensus, good.
Okay. And the other foundation grants, the skate park, I haven't been involved in that, no action there, and then the rail trail committees has some grant money that they're going to use for various projects, including some of the projects that were also in this report. And then regarding the Legion Field, 30,000, I'll be helping with the reporting on that, and I'm also working with Rosemary to submit the reimbursement request to the Vermont Council on Rural Development. Sent out an email to them, got a reply, basically got the instructions on what to do. And I've started gathering some of the documents, and Rosemary will get me the invoices and we'll get that sent off. to
Just as an
VCR.
FYI, I did thank them for their support and sent them a copy of the draft, just so they knew what they got for what they supported, so.
And then for Holmes Meadow, there are several items for your consideration and hopefully action tonight. Change order number 4 to Boulder Excavations contract and the Vermont Emergency Management Grant Agreement Amendment. I don't know if you want to deal with those now or if,
Yeah, let's do that while you're talking about one.
okay.
I was just gonna do all of them in shot, but
So I sent John some agenda notes, guess that you have those in one form or another, and those notes that I submitted included recommended motions for you to make, vote on.
Every time we do a change order, it costs a lot more money. This is on number 4 now. Why wasn't some of this stuff worked at the beginning? And part of this whole process, this latest change order is $18.30 per cubic yard. Wasn't it a lower price somewhere along the line earlier?
Yeah, I had the same question. It was $7.50 cubic
But
yard.
it
First
didn't cover all the same work, though.
But
This
still, it
change
doesn't,
order is for the actual extraction and the hauling. And loading and hauling of it. The other one that you dealt with was for just a more limited amount of work.
but that's quite an increase. That's approximately 11 cents difference. And as far as,
dollars.
$11, excuse me. It is a big difference, and it doesn't take them very long to fill these trucks. I watched them across the river one day, and they're full lickety split. That's about $300 a truckload for these going out of there at $18.30. And so, to me, that seems like an exorbitant price to pay. But that's just me.
So the first one, Carl, it does say this is just for hauling, the $7.50.
The 18,
Oh, the first one,
okay.
the
That-
original one dated January
That
13th.
that's
says-
change order number 1, which isn't in your list, but
Yeah, but I'm just comparing the rates, and that's the reason it's in here. So the change order number 1 was dated January 13th. It's $45,000 for hauling 6,000 cubic yards, which is $7.50 per. Change order number 4 is dated January 30th, and that's the one that's $76,000 for 4,100 cubic yards.
these are all questions that I've asked them and talked with LCPC and with SLR, and I'm gonna make a motion to approve the change orders, but
Did LCPC give you an explanation?
yeah,
Okay.
The only difference is extraction, as far as I can see.
extraction, yeah, it's the big verbiage.
This board just goes ahead and approves these change orders because they're grants, and supposedly the town doesn't have to pay for it, but I always go back to, for crying out loud, if it was us and our own money that we were paying, we might be wanting to have somebody sharpen a pencil a little bit more before we paid their bill.
So just to try to explain this. Why change order 4 is not exorbitant compared to 1. So the change order number 1 was for an increase of $72,900, which included $45,000 for hauling and processing of 6,000 cubic yards. So a little over $7 a cubic yard for that work. Then it also included $27,900 for the stripping of the remaining approximately 1,000 cubic yards of gravel. So, or $27.90 per cubic yard for that extraction. Change order 4, you're getting the extraction, the loading, and the hauling for $18.30 per cubic yard.
I voted no on change order 1.
I'll second Evan's motion.
I got a
It's really
few vote.
helpful. Thank you.
I motion to approve the signing of LCPC Holmes Meadow Floodplain Restoration Project Management Services Agreement to authorizing the chair or town administrator to sign.
Second.
That's just the amendment with LCPC. There's multiple documents here.
Were you jumping to the next?
No, that was LCPC.
Where are you? What are you looking at?
You got a motion, a second. We're under further discussion. This increased cost changes LCPC's contract as well as the grant agreement with BEM as well as approving change order 4. To me, they're 3 separate things, but they're all the same thing. So I was doing them in 3 steps, but
So are you doing any separate motions for these or?
I would think so, yes, because this first one, that motion that Evan just read is for one's topic, and that's the agreement with LCPC. And then the next one was the grant agreement for BEM, and they are related because the select board had a concern about the BEM grant agreement coming through to provide the extra money to pay for change order number 4.
Yeah.
So that's why they're both on the agenda tonight, because we've been holding change order 4 for a couple months now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should do with SLR change order 4 as a separate item.
yeah, we're not doing that yet.
Right, do it as a separate item, yeah.
Okay, if we have a motion on the floor, can you repeat your motion?
You good, Donna? You really want me to?
I want everybody to know what we're talking about.
My motion's to authorize and execute the agreement with LCPC for Holmes Meadow Floodplain Restoration Project Management Services. Agreement amendment number 2, authorizing the chair or town administrator to sign on behalf of the town.
I
Have a
second.
second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No. Hey,
No abstentions. Okay, guys have it. Next item.
Furthermore, I'm going to motion to approve the signing of amendment number 4 with BEM's grant agreement, Holmes Meadow Floodplain Restoration Project grant, authorizing the select board chair or town administrator to sign on behalf of the town, and if both should get in a car accident, the vice chair can sign.
How nice of you.
Second.
Second, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
nay,
I guess
Next item.
the ayes have it.
The ayes have it.
Furthermore, we never got a formal motion on this, but there's like, the reason you have change order number 1 is they wanted some wording changed, and I don't think I never ever brought that back to the board, so that's my bad.
Right, you don't have anything on your agenda or in your packet regarding change order number 1, because question was posed to me quite late
Right.
last week when I was preparing all this meeting material.
Yeah.
And I told LCPC I didn't have time to go back and retrace all
I
of
mean,
those.
we already approved
conversations.
change order number one with the money. It's just that one weird verbiage thing. So I guess we'll leave it alone for now. They can bill us for it.
Yeah, take it along. Let's see.
Furthermore, my motion to approve and authorize change order number 4 with Boulder Excavation for Holmes Meadow Floodplain Restoration Project for the additional gravel extraction and hauling. Do you want a number on that?
You might work for
We got numbers on the rest of them.
No, they don't. For clarity to the public, change order number 4 is in the amount of $76,201.20.
Correct.
Second,
Is there a second? Okay, any discussion?
Did I authorize the chair
No,
or town administrator? Friendly amendment, chair, town administrator
Thank you.
can sign on behalf of the town. Okay.
Any discussion? Well, thank you for the explanation on comparing it to the earlier work. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Next item is the development rights and conservation restrictions on the Brindle lot.
Yes, so the motion that was in the notes that I sent came directly from attorney David Rue, and he just wants to get that on the record. So that if the document becomes available for the select board chairman to sign before your next meeting, he can sign that. And the latest, as of late this afternoon, is that David and the general counsel for A&R have come to an agreement about the wording in the that document. There was earlier this afternoon, it was half of one sentence that they wanted, David wanted to revise, and apparently that's been agreed to. And now the document will go to the governor's office. Apparently, this is a document that the governor has to actually sign. So once that's done, then we'll bring it back for signature here. But that can't happen though before March 28th because of that 30-day public notice period. You may remember from the February 19th meeting when you voted on these things, and we had to put a notice in the newspaper, which happened the following Thursday on February 26th. So then the 30 days takes us to March 28th. But hopefully by March 28th, it'll be executed by the state, and then the town can have it signed.
Isn't there conservation restrictions on the Gomo lot as well, though?
The Gomo lot, that's being dealt with what's called a declaration of covenants.
Hey,
That's the town issuing covenants. You're putting that in the land records so that anybody in the future that might be looking at buying that or does buy it, they would know what those restrictions are on the Gomo lot.
Okay, but we can make a motion and approve this prior to the March 28th.
Yes, so they would like that
Finalization.
done so that if these documents come through before your next meeting in early April, which I think would be like April 7th, that we could get hold of you and have it signed.
Okay.
So we need a motion.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
motion to authorize the chair or town administrator to sign the grant of development rights and conservation restrictions to the Agency of Natural Resources for on the Prindle lot, provided the 30 days notice is met.
Not the Legion Field. It's not.
second,
Thank you. Who got that?
Adrian, give it to her.
We'll come back to that.
Further discussion?
Do that.
It's just
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
aye,
Hey,
me.
All those opposed? Okay, the ayes have it.
Leaving you hanging.
Okay.
So those were all the action items that I had for you tonight, and also on my monthly report to you, I have information about the T-Mobile grant and the Legion Field and the pavilion. There's a $50,000 max on that T-Mobile grant, and a pavilion of the size that is proposed. It was listed as 25 by 40, but 24 by 40 would be more standard for that width. If you try to do that with post and beam or timber frame construction, it's going to be well over $50,000 to do it that way. One company I spoke with said that basically you could look at the cost of their kit and double it, double the cost of that. That's what your project would cost. And another contractor, supplier from here in Vermont, gave me prices, and he didn't use the terms, double the cost, but basically what he gave me for estimates was right in line with that. So if you want a 24 by 40 pavilion with timber frame or post and beam construction, $50,000 is not going to do it. And I didn't think that you would want to. Well, you have to complete the project. If you apply for that grant, get 50,000, May 31st of 2027, that project is supposed to be completed. So you would find yourselves in the same position you're in with the library right now, trying to come up with the additional money.
I don't think it needs to be posted, personally. But it's probably too quick.
Well, it doesn't have to look like a hub. No, trust job either. I agree with Paul. You sent out that email. That Legion Field deserves something better than that.
Could put a little T111 underneath it or something.
Whatever.
Personal.
I just hope it doesn't turn out like the Welcome Center, this pavilion.
It's going that way already.
Yes, I
We don't
know.
even have a nickel for it.
I know.
I think we should use the T-Mobile grant for the library. I sent over to Carl some different sections that of of funding that he could go after for this grant. Like what did I send you? The reading room and
The reading room / community room and the checkout area.
checkout area. Yeah. That's around 50. It's a little bit over, but I think that it would be a good contender for this grant.
I know they were very interested in applying for the grant. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think a pavilion clears enough money, I think, particularly when you include the groundwork and the drainage and electricity and so on and so forth. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think we can roll that out, but are we agreed or do we need to vote on that?
So you'd like to apply that money to the library, sell that 50,000 and hold off on the pavilion for a while? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, we're just deciding what project we should apply for this T-Mobile grant with. And I
Yeah.
think we should do the library since we need money for that.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
We can hold off on that pavilion for a
And
while.
the Wi-Fi, the library does have an area designated for Wi-Fi. So I mean, I think that would strengthen the application.
Beautiful. We don't have to name the building T-Mobile, do we?
No, that question was posed to me. I went back through the material, both the grant application instructions and the general information that I was finding on the website, and I didn't see anything where they indicated they even want a sign or a marker to recognize T-Mobile's help with the project, let alone naming rights.
Wonderful.
Do you need anything more from us as far as guidance?
Just, I guess, just to know that, maybe you should go on record as authorizing an application with the library as the subject of the grant. That way we have that in case the
Our support.
people reviewing it question it.
Go.
So make a motion for
Yeah.
it? I'll make a motion to apply for the T-Mobile grant for the Johnson Public Library project.
Second.
Third,
Further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Excellent. Thank you, Carl.
I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Off the
Oh.
hook.
Thanks, Carl.
I'm sorry, did you have any updates on the Granite Stairs project at Legion Field?
No, I don't have
Okay.
anything update on that yet.
Okay, thank you.
So I've got 3 documents here. If I could just hold you up for a minute for Paul and John to sign, and then I'll go downstairs and get these sent off to the LCP.
Great. Sure.
These 2 are, you sign, and this one on this side. 3rd page.
Carl. Okay, next item of business is to review and approve the job description for the CEDS position.
So at the last meeting, Carl had a chance to review the job description. And he made some recommendations. And I included them in blue. And the board made recommendations regarding the hours of work. And I included those in red.
Okay, some comments, but I can't find them. Let's see, here we go. That's the final? Yeah.
What's that?
I'll make a motion.
Comments?
Yeah,
Well, we've got a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the job description with the edit to 40 hours per week instead of 20 to 24 hours per week.
Is there a second? Bring none. Motion dies. Is there a second motion, a different motion?
How can we look at the piece that Adrian sent this afternoon? Talk about that before voting on that.
It's in here, right, John?
Oh, it was in the
we
separate
can-
packet.
We can discuss that as part of this conversation. Where is it again?
Okay.
Is it in the back here? Is that what you're telling me?
It's not in the folder.
It was,
It's
it was
separate.
in the separate. Oh,
she's
file.
to the side.
Today I sent the board a spreadsheet that restructures our staffing costs, and it takes into account us splitting from the village with our employees. So we're removing 2 employees, including the town treasurer's retirement. And then giving a 10% increase to 2 employees and making the CEDS position full-time instead of part-time. So with this proposal, there would just be a 7.9% increase to our staffing costs.
Is this all for discussion, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't we have some discussion a while back about John assuming some of these roles and him gonna try to make a stab at it before we went ahead and hired another 40-hour position for the town of Johnson?
I don't think we ever voted on that approach.
We never voted on it, but we discussed it a little bit. We've never given John a chance to even prove himself because he comes with a background in grants. I mean, he had a 7.5 page dissertation with his job descriptions of everything that he has done and his
Well,
expertise. And I think we need to at least, and he said he was gonna do it for free for a while. And I think we would be remiss as our responsibility of a select board not to give him a chance to prove his worth without having a 40-hour position and having to have the town pay for that.
well, I don't think we should be asking any employees to do free work.
He volunteered.
Well, I don't
We
think
didn't
that
ask
we need
anybody.
to have employees
Yep.
volunteer free work.
He volunteered. It was on his own volition. None of us pushed the desire to do it. It's his idea. So I think we ought to give the man a chance.
I don't believe you can do grant work part-time. Grant that deadlines are rigid and time sensitive. A 24-hour week person will miss opportunities simply because they weren't available when a RFP dropped or a deadline hit. One missed grant could cost the town more than the salary difference.
Oh, tell me about it. We had a previous administrator that missed two big ones.
Yes, thank you for agreeing with me.
So,
A part-time person has another job. That means their schedule doesn't always align with the town needs. Select board meetings, committee meetings, site visits, stakeholder calls, they're fitting Johnson in around something else. A full-time person is Johnson's person. Committee capacity, you're consolidating committees and, sorry. With the flood recovery and the FEMA buyout properties aren't slowing down. The work alone could fill a part-time schedule, leaving no bandwidth for proactive economic development. So I really think that it's only a 7.9% increase. So I don't really see why you wouldn't think it's beneficial.
well, I gotta give it to you, Adrian, you're very well prepared
Yeah.
in your comments, but I still have, I'm willing to give a man a chance who volunteered to do it at no cost to the town. And I'd like to see what he could do.
My opinion doesn't have any slight towards John's position. John is the town administrator. I would like other tasks being done for the town administrator, like we have a million other things.
I had some questions. And I looked and tried to find the final number for the percentage increase in taxes as a result of the budget vote. What was our final number?
3.8, 3.6
3.8.
something.
Okay.
It's in here. I get the right year.
Okay, 3.8.
I mean, basically that 7.9% cost increase. It's in salaries, which are 100% paid for by taxes. It would increase our taxes by 1.5%, but obviously not this year. We'd have to trim $30,000 from somewhere else. The voters already approved X dollars. That's what our tax rate is set on. We're not fixed to every line. We could,
Turn it somewhere else and put it there if we choose.
yeah, I don't want to pick on any one committee or any one department or anything. We could say,
So
we could trim it from appropriations and there, we just freed up $30,000. Spend as we please, right? It's against our policy.
what I was looking for was what this that increase would do. What would it increase our tax rate to, or tax increase to? You'd say about a
Nothing.
1.5%?
Nothing for this year. It would be 1.5% if everything went back. Our
We've already approved the
increased
budget.
our increase to taxes that the tax need, the voters approved first Tuesday in March.
Mhm.
It literally, we just use that times the grand list, or that and the grand list set the tax rate. We can't raise that or lower that amount.
Okay, but we budgeted
Mhm.
20 to 24 hours.
We're budgeted for 24
24.
at a rate, yeah.
We also budgeted for a highway employee that we don't have right now.
Yep, we budgeted for
1,000 hours.
20 hours a week there.
Yeah.
That was 1,040.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, I saw the email, I just haven't had time to
It was,
render it in my head.
it's kind of hard to jump out at the last, for the meeting. That's certainly true. We also voted last meeting for this position to be a 24-hour position. So this, what we're discussing now is a change from what we talked about last week or last meeting.
Like John.
Hmm?
John raised his hand.
Oh.
I would say one option that we could do would be to review the job description. I mean, we could approve it. I had a chance to talk to Carl. Carl doesn't seem like he's leaving anytime soon. I think he said maybe another couple of months or so. Or,
Yes, considering the projects that are gonna be very helpful to the town, especially all this industrial park work, we stayed through that, but I can see that extending into May.
I think Carl's been an extremely valuable asset. I mean, one possibility could be we could approve job description and then discuss hours, discuss it at a future date.
Discuss what at a future?
Well,
date?
we could discuss the position, the hours, at a future date.
If we're basically gonna let it ride, I guess I would suggest that the job description and the hours stay together and pull them both off to a future meeting. But that's just my 2 cents.
Well, I feel we should make a decision on this now, since we need to make a decision about the town clerk, town treasurer, and the assistant clerk treasurer.
We talking about that later, high level.
Yes, it's in the agenda.
Yeah. So I apologize. Do we have a motion on the floor now?
I think it failed.
Yeah,
back on the second.
Adrian made a motion to approve the job description with the change to the hours.
Right, but there was no second.
There was no second.
There was no second, so yeah, no, then there is no motion.
So we currently have no motion on the floor.
Do you have
Let's
other-
sleeping dog live at next meeting and have time to go over Adrian's last minute proposal.
Do you have other comments on this? You said you had notes.
I do. If no one else has comments on it, we talked at length that the job title is supposed to be Community and Economic Development Specialist, and that didn't make it into the latest edition. So it needs to be in the title and throughout the
Yeah, like the first 3 words. The community, economic, community and economic.
Yeah, well, all throughout, so it's and in there.
Yeah.
On item 8, or task 8, I think it should be promote opportunities for business relocation, expansion and retention. We want to try to bring businesses into Johnson. I can send these to you, John.
That?
I can send these to you.
Yeah, let's say I'm looking for my copy.
And item 9 is just a punctuation thing. My last comment was the necessary knowledge and skills. Item 7, it currently reads must be able to work in person or virtually. I think we discussed that in one hand. Because we want the person to be here on site some part of the time.
Preferably. Preference given.
That's all the comments I had. Okay. Is there any other motions? Or should we take?
I would-
topic?
I'd love for Johnson to have the benefit of 40 hours a week. I'm concerned about the impact of that to people's taxes in the coming year. We have some things that still need to get sorted out. Hopefully some changes in pilot payment, some unknowns around the buyouts, in terms of how that's going to affect us. So I'm cautious about jumping in to 40 hours a week at this point. But I'm also feeling like I would like more time to digest all this.
I'm fine with giving people more time to digest it, but to your point, this is a position that would bring in revenue and
Yeah, I'm-
bring in money. So I think it would help taxes.
Mhm. Someone said to me when I described what we were talking about, said, I think you all are being short-sighted. And I think we are being short-sighted. And I'm feeling that right now there's a necessity for that. But I hate to feel that way, really. You're absolutely right. It's going to have big benefits.
Other comments?
So we can come back to this,
Doug,
right?
Doug, your hand up,
I did,
please.
didn't want to butt in. I'm wondering how you determined 24 hours was sufficient for the job, or sufficient to attract people, the kind that you would want to work on the job description. You know, if you've done any checking on that, and it's kind of in the back of my head, I'm wondering what that 24 hours is a number about. No. You know, what does that represent? You know, what's the number in the budget is that, you know? Is that 40,000, 30,000, 65, 95?
60, 62,
Yeah,
60 to 62.
And that would include benefits?
No, that's salary.
Yeah. You mind if I take a stab at that?
Go for it.
The 24 hours, I think Mike and I were here for a good portion of that. If you don't remember, I think in 2021, we asked for $40,000 at town meeting day, and it was approved, and we weren't able to fill it. And then we asked for 50,000 in 2023, and then we had talked. We had turnover from our town administrator at the time, and we had talked about splitting it. And at the time, multiple companies that are in the industry had advised us with the workload that we had to go with a 3 or 4 day a week town administrator and a 3-day community and economic development coordinator, and that was sufficient for our town by metrics of grand list population projects on the table. Those companies were, one of them was called Municipal Resource Inc. out of New Hampshire. Another one was called Government Central Information, GCI. They're out of Syracuse, New York. Both companies do a lot of work throughout New York and New England, so they know our little quirkiness being weird in this part of the country. That's where heavily the 24 hours came from. You're asking where it was derived from. I'm telling you where it was derived from. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, just telling you that's where it came from. And we were lucky enough to have a person apply and fill the role on the 24-hour position, or lucky to have somebody filling in interim wise. Hopefully that was vague enough to not sound bad. But
That was a good explanation.
No, that was
it's all
the
true.
history.
I just don't want to like point and say names.
That was perfect.
The perception from your experience here, across the cities, and you know, but what he hasn't. I think that there needs to be a emphasis that you were talking about on the economic stuff, and we have problems that might not be, we hope won't be here in 10 years, it will solve, will move, you know. We were talking about tax, and another thing is, you know, I think that our community needs to move ahead and not be a backwater, you know? And I think that this is ultimately the success of this program would be in the values of property and bringing in more housing here for jobs and things like that, you know. This is a large job and it's really, really important. We're behind the eight ball on so many of the on housing, rather than behind the eight ball on the mix of the population. Everybody would like to bring in subsidized housing here. I'm not talking about single family homes. They want to get rentals. That's all the wrong direction. We need to change the direction of this community, and that's a big job. And I understood that Carl is spending 24 hours a week, and he's not, I don't think you're going to get to this. Plus, I think you need to find someone who is knowledgeable locally to put in, or can get really up to speed and will really bite into this issue. And so if you were buying a truck, you would size the money for the truck, the need that you have. And I think you need to figure out what amount of money would attract. And I heard your description. I think you need to check out there and see who would be interested at what rate. And I think you need that. And so I don't know if 40 hours is what it is, but I think that I see it here that you have the ability to grow it, or if possible, we should both. But I think you ought to think about sizing the job for position for who you can attract, rather than also only what you can budget for.
Okay, thank you. No other comments from the floor?
I agree.
Thank you.
And, I emailed Paul this today, but the town of Woodstock, a town that's a similar size to ours, recently hired an economic development director at, their posting was for 85K to 95K for a full-time position. So, and that was very recent that they posted that.
Okay, so I think the consensus of the board is to revisit this issue.
Action next time.
Put it on the agenda for next meeting.
Another thing, I do think in an odd, tangible way, this ties into a conversation we're having later.
Mhm.
And you had said, this includes kind of going at employees on our own. We haven't really decided. I'm not saying I'll save my comments for when that comes up. But maybe there's a way to structure it a little bit different where we could have enough of 40 hours. Another thing, that our budget could never take into account on certain grants, your admin time is reimbursable. I keep saying this is not for a grant writer, it's for community and economic development, and grants are a portion of it. But if there's enough grants pulled down, the proper grants, we would receive reimbursement for the admin time, and it would actually be a wash in a perfect scenario.
We can hope.
Oh. Other comments? All right, thank you for all that.
This is in the email.
Hmm.
This is in the email as well.
Yeah. Okay, the next item is to review and discuss the Legion Field design. Received the draft layout from Du Bois and King. And we need to, you would approve that as a final draft, or accept it as a work product, and decide where to go from there. Has everyone had a chance to review the design at Whiteshield?
Mhm.
Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
I mean, one comment, I just feel like the design and construction of the pavilion should probably be further down
On the priority list?
on the priority list, but that's probably not It's dependent on money that's available
Right.
and whatnot.
Yeah, all the future grant possibilities are grant dependent.
Yeah, please do, Howard.
Yeah, so there is not enough money to really it.
I know,
Right, we discussed that.
And so that really ought to wait until there is.
Yeah. We discussed that.
That's the
Really
plan.
is on the back burner for future grant opportunities.
Right. But this year, we can get the bandstand finished and the power on the field. For sure, and depending on timing, we can get the land underneath the skating rink level. That's really about all I'm gonna promise you.
I agree the pavilion could go down farther, but I think it should stay where it is just because I think it's a very fundable project that is easy for grants to apply for.
I agree, it's very easily identifiable and, yeah, I agree with that. And I don't think anybody should consider the future grant possibilities as necessarily ranked there. It's just a list.
okay.
They could be bullet points instead of numbers.
Mr. Chairman, seeing
sir.
Howard spoke, may I speak to Howard and ask him a question?
Certainly.
Like I actually need to, right?
Yeah, right.
Howard, are you happy with this?
No, I mean, I'm okay with it, Mike. But I don't think that field is big enough to support it with the period. And the second.
Well, you probably more than anybody in this room has more to do with Legion Field. And have spent more time there, more sweat equity, any of us. Are you happy with the layout?
Generally speaking, yes. That is to say, there's a lot of frou-frou in there that I don't think the field needs or deserves.
Yeah,
Basically, all I want is a field of grass.
right. And this foo-foo you're talking about takes up space,
Uh,
precious space, which we have lost with the library.
Well, yeah. Backfill around the library.
That's correct.
There's a lot of green space we've gained, unfortunately, with the FEMA buyout properties. So yes, we are adding a lot to this space, but we're gonna have a lot of green spaces soon. And just reminding people that this came from 2 working sessions with community members. So that's where this came from.
What's,
There's a lot of public input.
what's staked out now? What is it that's staked out in front of the pizza oven? There are 4 stakes.
There are 4 stakes, yes, so I staked out before the meetings happened. I staked out the 50 by 100 foot skating rink. I think it's 25 feet away from the other. But then sort of right in the middle of the field. My hope is you understand that once that part of the project is done, you will never see it. You won't see this. It's obviously mistakes or anything like that. It will just be level. And only once the ground starts to freeze, only then will stakes and all that kind of stuff go back there, and the something will appear.
The stakes that are there now.
They are just they're temporary. They're just to show anybody who wants to know how big the hockey rink.
So on the design, it's 40 by 65. That's not what you just said.
No, Brian and I have been talking about 50 by 100.
Okay, so that's something that the town will need to decide.
Yeah, again, but again, it's not. It's the size of it hardly actually doesn't really matter very much. It doesn't make it any more or less expensive.
Yeah, no, as far as grading, whether we flood the whole thing or not, I'm just trying to point out, if we approve a plan, then we need to go with that plan. Not,
Could you have had that built last year for $500? That size, 50 by 100? Remember when you,
$500?
remember you had somebody that was gonna level it out?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. That is.
Right.
I guess so.
Hmm.
I mean,
And like you said, once it's all done and grassed over, you'll never even pay attention to anything on a paper here.
It's not a big blue thing, I know.
Exactly.
One comment, this is related, but kind of unrelated. I asked Brian, who does the ice rink, if he could like store the walls and pieces for the ice rink, like under the possible future pavilion. And he said that could happen, so. Because we were talking before about storage for the ice rink, remember, Paul?
Under the pavilion,
Yeah, like in the raft, how it's designed with the
Oh, get it?
rafter.
okay,
So it could double as storage space.
Well, that plan for the, for the storage. There, shipping from behind the bed. It's nothing more than a big bundle for the plastic liner. And 2x10 to 12. Probably would be racked up.
Oh, okay.
If we're gonna have post and beam, if we're gonna have something that's nice, we don't want anything filled up there. Really, we're gonna.
Just saying it's an option.
Yep. So are there other comments on the design, either from the board? Right.
So I was at both sessions. And I know it was a lot of brainstorming and throwing ideas out there. And there were a lot of ideas, and pavilion was one of them, and I still feel like I need to understand the benefit of the pavilion that looks very big next to the pizza oven.
Okay,
I think there's a lot of benefits. Do you want me to say that?
Yeah,
I think
Oh,
if I can, let's just stay on topic here. We're not talking about building a pavilion. That's phase two.
we're not what?
We're not talking about building a pavilion anytime soon. We don't have the money for it. So I would suggest we postpone the debate on the pavilion to when we are thinking about next steps, if that's okay. I'd like to hear comments on the plan, which, as we've described it as sort of phase one, is move the bandstand, install electric, grade the field. That's it.
I have to agree
That's
with
all we have money for right now.
the chair, Peter, because I have some questions on it too, and I can see it taking 15 or 20 minutes that we don't need to do. For
Okay, I misunderstood what we were including in the top tier of goals.
oh yeah, it's like down here.
You have to put your magnifying
Or-
glasses on.
Thank you.
It's down.
Are there comments from the floor? Yeah.
Installed the like, just like it's on the ants.
Initially to the bandstand, correct? And we talked about possibility if there's enough money to run electric or increase the electric service at the pizza oven.
Yeah,
Potentially the food trucks could then tap into.
that's a piece of cake, because there's a pole right there with power on it. On the line.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess my one comment is that, I attended one of the public sessions, I was sick for the first one. There was a lot of support for what the field this plan sort of looks like at the moment. And there was a lot of support for the bill. That was a priority, I sort of feel like we did a public process and we're still just doing what Tuesday Night Live.
Yeah, I do think, I would agree. I think there was a lot of support.
Understand still how Adrian brought up the other green spaces that are gonna come in to the mix on the road here. How's that gonna all fit with this stuff? That field has really shrunk. If you've been by now and seen the library going up. All this stuff is jammed in there.
I agree with you. It's been forever spoiled compared to what it used to be.
Spoiled. I mean, maybe it changes to not Legion Field and it's called something else instead of a field, because it's not a field anymore, maybe. And I think that's okay. We can have another field somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess that might be the problem potentially. It not need a field. I think it can be a park.
Mhm.
I mean, my question still, and has always been. How do all these things we want to do in town fit into all this other space we're about to have?
Mhm.
We're still in hyper focus on this space.
Yeah. That's why I've been pushing for a parks committee or group to help make these kinds of decisions in a more coordinated fashion.
Yeah, and I think part of our conversation about where does Suzanne Live end up and so on is, might it be a Sterling market someday? Might be someday, but we know that's some number of years off. So we're talking about what's the immediate. Kathy?
Yeah, I would just say I too went to both sessions and enjoyed the conversation. And what I like about the space process, the three things that are being done is that it's not doing everything and it's not spending a bunch of money to do something that we may then want to move someplace else. I think it pays attention to the fact that it's a grassy area and that kids play there, which I see all the time. And there's room to make an ice rink, which when there is an ice rink, it's used and it's really fun to see. And I think we're all gonna have to figure out, and it functions really, really well with the pizza oven. It's still a really good size for that kind of scope of community activity where it's not bringing a lot of people in from out of town, but there's still plenty of room for the sort of, small to medium size activity that happens around the pizza oven with kid events or community events. So I think it's a good plan in that it's gonna just do the three things that need to happen to move forward on the way it's being used now. And we're not dumping a bunch of money in there to make it perfect without even knowing what it looks like when the library's done. So I thought it was a good process. And I think we're all gonna know what we think when the library's done. Because you think you know what the space looks like, but you don't really know until you're in it in many ways.
Okay, thank you. Other comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the final layout for the Legion Field improvements.
Thank you. Is there a second?
The final layout. So we're committing to all of this.
Well, we're not committing to paying for all of it. We're committing to that this is the final design.
So maybe you clarified the motion to say accept this final design and with the existing grant money to A, B, and C.
Yes, with the existing grant money focusing on the grading the field, moving the bandstand, installing bandstand storage shed, and installing electric service.
Is there a second?
I'll accept it. We're accepting a plan, right?
Right.
Like future board can change layouts if needs for the change.
Yeah, and
change
using
or
that
whatever.
grant money
Oh,
for the first.
Right,
things.
yes, I'm
Yeah.
totally cool with that. It's
Okay.
obviously can't be etched in stone forever, but it's a good layout.
So that doesn't necessarily mean you want the play area or the seating or.
I actually really want the play area because that's funded by a different grant.
Okay.
Funding for.
Yeah.
But neither one of those are in the current motion. That's correct.
Okay. Just want to be clear.
Well, I can add it to it if we'd like.
So,
Motion.
separate monies.
I think,
Okay.
Separate.
I think we'll
separate.
take the other one.
Any further discussion?
The clean one.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? You guys have it. Thank you. All right, next item. I guess as a subset for this item, we had a proposal from Howard to service general contractor to get the work done for what we're calling phase one. On further review, though, we need to go through our procurement policy as we discussed. So we will be posting that and asking for sealed bids. And it'll be to manage the monies that we have to get those 4 items done that Adrian just read off.
Yeah.
Any questions about that?
No, and so we want John to put the bid out for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll work with you on that.
And they could have a short turnaround if we need.
Yeah, I think we originally talked about trying to hurry it so we could get to do the ice rink first, but in talking about it, we can move the bandstand, get the electric and get storage shed in and do the ice rink after TNL is done in late August,
Gotcha.
if we need to,
Okay.
so. It's not really as urgent as,
Well, it's not nearly as urgent as getting the bandstand powered.
right,
That really, in my humble opinion, I've got a show coming out for the summer will be wide. So, you know, I'd like that place to do that.
We're all okay with the grading happening at the end of the summer or?
I'm saying that's a possibility. We
Okay.
can do it early if everything works out, but if it doesn't, that's okay.
After TNL, yeah.
When we put the bid out, do we separate the grading because of the time frame and just focus on moving the bandstand, the electric, and the bandstand storage?
Yeah.
I
Perfect.
think the grading is part of it because we have money for that, but it can be, the timing can be such that it can be done either beginning or end.
You don't want the
That's
contractor
fine.
to bid on hold.
I would prefer rather than having put out another RFP for that.
I'm fine with either.
I would prefer them itemized so we can whack one if we don't have the money.
Good point.
When it comes to moving bandstand, can I get the town to help out with that? With machinery,
How many hours?
5,
You're already on skids, right?
yeah.
So it's no big deal.
Did you just check with Jason?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure we can work that out.
Perfect.
Okay, next item is review and consider the T-Mobile grant application. We already dealt with that, so we can kind of cross that off. Library update, review and discuss library fundraising, invoices and change orders.
Okay, I've got a packet that I've added.
You can come up to.
For you
Kelly, come on
tonight.
up.
Yeah, I don't know which one we're looking at.
Hang on a second, John, I gotta catch up
Yeah.
with everything. This one.
Yeah, it's a separate packet with another 10 on.
You know, it's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's not
You
that.
got a lot.
Yeah, that's all part of it.
Oh, okay. Side.
How are you?
So,
I'm good.
Glad to
Pretty good.
hear it.
Yeah, so I was here in January and we talked about our situation with being out of grant funds. And I said I would come this week and give you an update. So that's what we're doing here. Work has begun on the building of the addition. We've made 2 payments to our contractor. And that is going fine. Last month, we had a meeting with Catherine, who is the state librarian. And John and Peter and Adrian and Rosemary were all there. We had a well-attended meeting. And she was very helpful and positive. And some of the things that we talked about was at one time we had talked about rewriting the grant parameters. And she said that because of the wording of the grant, that isn't going to be necessary. They have a lot of really loose words in the grant, like shall and could instead of must. And
shall is not a loose word.
anyway, she said that it's open
Okay.
for interpretation. She said if we need more time at the end, that there are ways to get that. And basically she just assured us that all is well. She also said that there are several other projects that are in the same situation that we are. Construction costs have risen everywhere, not just here. And that they are doing all they can to help us. And she felt like everything is going to work out fine. In the last couple of weeks, we have applied for the AARP grant, which is for $15,000, and we also applied for the Rural and Small Libraries grant, which is also $15,000. We have the T-Mobile grant on our list, and I haven't really heard. I know others in town are looking at that, and I haven't heard if we should proceed with that or not.
We punted that over to the library tonight, so you're good to go on that.
Okay, all right.
Can I add?
Mhm.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think
please.
Carl was working on that,
Okay,
so I don't know if Kelly was aware of that.
Yeah, we had initially thought we might have enough money in that to build a pavilion on Legion Field, so we started kind of drafting. So there's some work done on that that may be applicable to the library. So
okay.
we can talk to Carl about that.
Okay. We started looking at the HUD grant, which is 400,000, and realized pretty quickly that we're not eligible for that because they require that your project hasn't been started yet. And our project is already in process. So we did that. Under fundraising, yesterday we received news that the library is going to be getting an anonymous donation for $150,000.
Wow.
Which will help us considerably.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anonymous.
And so fundraising is going well. So
That's
we are-
fabulous.
Huh?
That's fabulous. That's
Great job.
Yeah, so we're pretty happy about that. So at our library board last week, we discussed several options moving forward. And I had gone and had a meeting with Rosemary, and she shared with me this pamphlet that talks about bonds. And the select board can get a 1-year bond without having the town vote. And so our library board would like you to consider getting a $400,000 bond that would allow us to finish the library. And we will pay you back with interest. The interest on that would be about $20,000. We would pay you back in a year. Town meeting will be happening next March. And if we have failed to raise the amount of money from grants and from donations, then we would ask the town to vote on the bond to pay off the short-term bond. And so that just gives us more time. And so we would like you to consider that because that would allow construction to continue. It would allow the library to be finished in November. We have been displaced from a permanent building since it'll be 3 years in July. And that's a long time. The Masonic Temple people have been so kind to us and have just gone out of their way to add insulation and to fix up the basement as best they can. But it's cold in there. And it's not enough room for all our books. And we just don't really want to prolong the building process. We would like to get it finished. We would like to get moved into the building. We'd like to open up our community rooms so that groups can meet there. And we just want to move forward. And so that's what we're asking you to consider doing that. I think that with this new donation, that we probably won't be out of money until June. So that gives time for you to think about it if you want to. Not get anything. You don't want to add anything.
And I guess I would just add that with this bond, we would be taking a deep breath, but then we would still be grinding. We are grinding. I'm fundraising like I've never fundraised before, and I've never fundraised. We're doing it.
Well,
Making it
yeah,
happen. So we're gonna keep acting like, we have a tight timeline to do, but this just kind of covers our contract with our general contractor and gets us through. But we'll still be operating in a timely manner and make sure that we pay on time.
So a couple of questions. You said in your meeting last week with the library, whoever, not your board, but the grantor, they said there's extra time available if needed, so we no longer have to have the old building finished and open by the end of the year. Is that?
There are several different ways to do it. She gave us 4 things that we have to do. One is that we have to be open and we have to be occupying a space. The whole building doesn't have to be finished. 2, we have to have internet access. We have to have ADA access to the building, and we have to have telehealth available. So those are the 4 things that we have to do to meet the grant requirements.
Okay, so essentially we do have to finish the old building still. So you can occupy it.
We have to
At
finish
least to
a part of the building. We could do the back part, we could do the front part. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. We're hesitant to do that just because we've been in transition, kind of in limbo for so long. And if we move over there without the entire building being finished, we're gonna still be in limbo. We're still gonna have parts that aren't finished. We're gonna have construction stuff, and we for the good of the community, we would like to avoid that if we can.
Okay.
Any
questions?
Can you run through the bond scenario again? You're saying that the select board would be able to take a loan for a year?
Yes.
You can take out money for 12 months, but we're not
Right,
the state or
without
the
a time
feds. We can't run in a deficit. We're required to retire it.
In a year, okay.
Yeah.
So,
That was-
assuming
Oh,
that you're not able to raise that 400,000 completely in 1 year,
Right.
what was the next thing?
So the next thing would be, so this is the end of March. I think that we probably don't need bond money until June.
Mhm.
And so if we took out money, the end of May or the 1st of June, then at town meeting next year, the bond won't have been due yet,
Mhm.
but we will have a good idea about how our fundraising has gone, how our grant situation is, which grants we've gotten, which ones we haven't, and we'll have a better idea. And at that time, we could approach the town with a vote and say, we need this much money to pay off the library. And we could ask the town to approve money, which would give us more time. Either.
To approve another bond.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, at that point, you'd need to go for a 10-year
Mhm.
municipal bond,
Mhm.
5-year, 20-year, 30-year, whatever.
So I have 2 concerns about that scenario.
Okay.
And
One is that little bit of fundraising experience, but it does not involve fundraising for something that's already built. People, I don't know if there's the same enthusiasm for donors if something's finished already. You know what I mean? The other thing is that it puts the library's future potentially in the hands of the town voters, and I don't know if we can feel secure in that.
That's possible. I also know that we have a lot more grants on our list. We have other donors that we have spoken to who have said that they are going to donate. We just don't have amounts. John is working with the congressional people about possible money.
John, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got 3 applications in, 1 to Representative Ballot, 1 for Senator Sanders, and 1 for Senator Welch. The congressional delegate spending, I initially asked for 500,000, and I heard back from Representative Ballot's office that if I was looking for 500,000, I needed to ask for about 625. And they did come back with some good questions regarding the project. The issue with congressional delegate spending, I'm hoping between the 3 we're going to get 1. But it will be in the 27 budget. And then chances are the funding would be available in the fall of 27. And, you know, I think like what Peter says, it's not to repay a loan, or it's not for something that's already built. It would be for a project to be built.
They're delayed a lot.
So it would delay the project. But I mean, we would know that the funding would be there.
I do have a question on the funding sheet, and maybe this is just my little brain reading it. But we have a total committed to date of 1.4, right? And then we have another contract of 1.4.
Well, if you look at,
But we show some of the payments for the remaining contract amount of 1 million. That 1 and 1.4 is added together to get 2.4. But we have miscellaneous funds available of 1.9. Hopefully, this is making sense to anybody.
okay, so this is the sheet that I put together and presented to the board in January, when Kelly and I talked about the funding that was available. If you look on the second page,
Sorry, another.
or if you look at the bottom, there's a number of 537,703.
That's where my question is.
That is what we had in January. And I think Kelly and I, our numbers were pretty close. Since January, we had the payment due February 28th of 283. And then we're gonna have a payment due of March 31st, 2026 of 212,000. And I got a notice there that we have a change order for an additional 6,750 that I'm presenting to the board tonight for approval, that will be added to that March 31st.
So, go ahead.
My question's a lot higher than the cash flow. It's the cash deficit. And the way my brain is looking at it, to get the building over there, pour a foundation underneath it, it cost us 1.4. And then we signed a contract for 1.4 to build it. Am I reading this wrong? 51,000 for engineering, 101,000 for architecture, 466 for moving it. 555 for concrete. And then that sum of backflow builders, maybe that's where it almost looked like it was off about 400,000 to me, but maybe that's already in there.
One. Is that right?
Back 40's bid was 1.4.
I know, but I guess because it's here, is it 500,000 or 800,000 that we're short?
You guys did, there was an overpayment or one of the payments. That 40.
It's just the way the numbers added up, like I see where the 5 came from. But because the 300,000's added in as a payment. And then shown here. It's kind of,
I think,
it reads a little. I'm sure it's fine.
yeah,
Wanted to make sure we weren't talking about $300,000 different,
yeah. I
sure we
think
will be at some point.
when we added up all the funds that we had available, we had 1.9. And that includes some of the savings and grant money that the library had.
Right.
And the total project was gonna be 2.4.
Okay.
And so we're $550,000-ish
Mhm.
short.
That
And
sure is a lot of money, 2.4 million.
because we got our donation yesterday, that lowers what we need down to 400,000.
Mhm.
So, and if we.
Thank you very much, Anonymous. Hopefully Anonymous is
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
So anyway, and we're hopeful. We've got a lot more grants to apply for. We have more people to talk to. And, we have John's things that he's doing. And I really think that we'll be paying back the money before it's due.
And your thought is that you wouldn't ask the select board for that whatever amount of money until
Until we need it.
potentially needing it in the summer.
Yeah, in June, I think.
Well, I mean, sorry to cut people off here. Rosemary is a much better expert than I am, but we can't get to June and then say we need a bond. We need to go to the municipal bond bank,
Well, you go to the local bank.
go to your local bank, get your terms, do all that. We only meet once every 2 weeks. We need to start the process now if we want money
Right.
available in June.
You know, that's what I'm asking.
I'm thinking about the
Mhm.
date at which the repayment period starts. That, right, we got it. It takes a while to get there, yeah.
But we could also do it as a line of credit and only pay interest on what you have out.
Mhm.
Line of credit takes not very long to get. Because we're not that far in the hole.
No. And the other thing is that, we're willing, as grant money comes in and donation money comes in, we're willing to turn that over right away to you so that interest is less. We want to save money if we can.
John,
Yes, the USDA also has options for low interest loans for municipalities. I mean, if we do decide to go for a loan, we could look at the terms for bond. Like for bond, and then take a look at the terms for USDA.
See, this was a concern for me before the warning was sent in. Obviously, I sent an email that said if you want inclusion, I'd recommend getting a petition signed and going in front of the voters at town meeting day. And for the record, I appreciate everything that everybody's working hard here. It feels like this weird grudge match. I think we all care about the building and we're all nice people to each other. I worry about taxpayer money. I'm not.
Yeah.
It sucks because of open meeting law. I sit on the other side of the table and it seems like
Yeah.
this grudge match.
We're taxpayers too,
True.
and I don't want to see taxes go up.
Mhm.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm just kidding.
Well done, Adrian.
other
cool.
questions, comments?
That's really, I've been waiting for that news. That is so
It was such happy news yesterday.
exciting.
Yeah.
And someone deserves a lot of thanks for working so hard on that.
I do feel under comments that we need to rescind, if we're going down this road, a previous board's decision.
Mhm.
that taxpayer money was not gonna be involved in the project. If we're being asked to go for a municipal bond, we are on the hook for it. It doesn't matter if, you know, we go to next town meeting day, and the voters say no. I think that board would be faced with, maybe we cut police service. You know, we're required to pay it when we sign up for it. So
Right.
we are, if we go down this road, going like this,
Yeah,
um,
it's a risk. It's a
Sure.
risk.
and personal questions, last time we talked, we were talking about a grant amendment and a contract amendment. Have we
Yeah.
seen stuff on that? Have we talked to, I know cheaper windows, flooring, siding was thrown around. Do we know roughly what trimming those would be?
We, as far as cheaper flooring, cheaper windows, that kind of thing. We didn't choose real expensive things to begin with. You know, we tried to get quality, but to keep things as low cost as possible. That's why there's not a lot to cut, because we had lots and lots of meetings with our architect. And we, you know, we were trying to keep everything as close to the amount of money we had in the grant as we could. And I was looking back through the paperwork, and Paul, our architect, his estimate for the cost of the addition was in the $900,000 range, which is, you know, what we were expecting. And we were very surprised when all the bids came in as high as they did. So now. Mhm.
Okay, well, thank you, Kelly. So I think the board's job is to consider, and maybe we can take up at our next meeting, the discussion about a short-term bond, something we want to pursue, or what are the options?
I think we need to look at other options. I'm just one board. Quite frankly.
But I don't sense any, I know I'm personally not ready. I don't sense the board's ready to make a vote on that or decide anything. Am I interpreting correctly? Okay. Any other comments, questions about the library and fundraising?
I appreciate everything that's being done behind the scenes. I probably on video just look like that guy that says no. No. Sorry.
Yes, thank you for saying that. We all do. So thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, next up.
Before we go on, Paul,
Pardon me?
I got a couple other items associated with this one.
Okay, go ahead.
The change order for $6,750.
Where's that?
That is with the library material. And we got that from Back 40 Builders.
Why do we have change orders? I'll ask that question again.
Oh, it's spelled out in black and white.
Yeah, well,
Yes, the installation of shim plates of beam pockets to correct out of level conditions spaced at 16 inches on center. Installation of structural fasteners and foam insulation excluded from original scope of work. And repair requested by DeWolf Engineering on 12/5/2025.
the board knows how I feel about change orders.
Was this work that was not completed by another contractor?
That's
Is
right.
is that why there was necessity to,
Well, then go out.
or another person to do
contract.
the work? Well, can we withhold $6,750 from another contractor?
Why not?
They didn't complete their work? That seems fair to me.
Me too.
If A person didn't do A person's job and B person did A person's job, A person can just
Unfortunately, that person has probably been paid 100%, right?
Who was the previous contractor? Or that would have been just.
Actually, I think that's
Right?
this one,
Think it's them?
isn't it?
Which one? What are you holding up?
Isn't that the,
You
our
think?
other invoice?
Well,
No.
one of them,
No.
looking at the change order, installation of structural fasteners and foam insulation excluded from original scope of work. So, my guess was they realized that this needed to be added. And it wasn't included in the original scope of work, and then there's a repair requested by DeWolf Engineering on 12/5/25. And that's a hold down type corrections. And then shim plates, metal fabrication, installation of shim plates on at beam pockets to correct out of level conditions spaced at 16 inches on center. So that's what I got on the change order.
So whose responsibility is that? The engineer or the architect?
Or the previous contractor.
You think it's well, if the contractor didn't have that in the original scope of work, or he didn't do the work that he was supposed to do. So what is it?
This is part of the mess with splitting the project up.
Yeah.
So the board last year said we want a GC, we want it all to go out. And at a certain point, we were told the utilities across the road that we'd have to split the project. And now we have two people and we're just paying more money.
Absolutely.
So
We need to find out who's
the
responsible.
additional exterior insulation, what portion of the building was that on? Do we know?
I just got
The
this,
addition.
The addition,
yeah.
Mhm.
which is
Which-
another invoice we're gonna talk about. But was the RFP or design specifically stated to have insulation on the exterior?
It
walls?
was.
So the contractor that did the addition foundation did not complete the work per design. When we get to that portion, I'm gonna say that we should deduct $6,750. Right?
So he insulated the inside, but not the outside. Is that what you're saying?
I believe so.
Well,
None of this is.
before we take that step, we better bring up the original RFP. But as far as these three things are concerned, Back 40 Builders is not responsible.
Understood. Yeah,
So
here. You wanted to talk about this change order? Somebody make a motion to approve $6,750.
I'll move that we approve the change order for $6,750
To Back 40 Builders.
to Back 40 Builders.
Just for clarity, this is change order number 1.
Yeah.
And I would. Does it say numbers when we receive these?
Well, it says change order ID JPL-0001.
Hopefully we don't fill all 4 of those zeros.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Come on, second it for fun.
No, I don't want a second.
Second.
New.
This isn't their responsibility.
Under further discussion, I would like to agree with
Second it?
Peter.
Are you seconding it?
I made it.
Discuss.
Evan made the motion.
I seconded.
I've been saying.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I seconded Peter under further
It's not keeping
discussion.
up.
I was agreeing with Peter that this change order is only because building RFPs were split and a certain contractor did not finish their portion of the job before another contractor came along.
Hold on.
Might as well call it. and You're
Any
gonna
further comments?
Well, I'm gonna vote against it, because I wanna make sure that the town isn't on the hook for it. I don't want the town to pay for something that somebody else should have done.
Would you like to delay it while John verifies?
Well, the motion has been made and seconded, so we have to go forward with the vote.
But if we decide we want to delay it, everybody can vote no.
Right.
Not to approve.
Or I could withdraw.
Or
I
you
vote
could
no in a second.
withdraw.
We're gonna You're suggesting
Abstain.
delaying action on this?
That's
Yeah,
what I
because
think
the
it's
person
so
that
we
didn't
know
do
if
it should
we
pay
get
for it.
Money from somebody else to cover it.
Well, this is money that back 40's already laid out. And they should not be in a position of being in the middle of a back and forth with another contractor or two. That's on us.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think we're in a bad position, but we're putting them in a bad position. We had them do this work. And they did it.
So you're basically suggesting that we vote this in the affirmative, pay back for the builders and go after the person that didn't complete the job.
That's what I would
wanna
like to do.
Yep.
Awkward though.
Any further
What if these
comments?
are coming up then?
No comments. Okay, all those in favor of the motion, which is to approve amendment 1 for 6750 to back 40 builders, please say aye.
Aye.
You're gonna have to vote too. Aye,
I'll vote, I need to.
okay,
Aye.
well,
All those against?
Nay.
Abstain.
Abstaining? Okay,
Abstain.
the ayes have it.
had to make you show your cards.
Ready.
Now we're gonna
Okay,
discuss
so
this.
John, I need you to pursue these three to figure out exactly where they came from. Okay, right? So we know who we're supposed to be talking.
I think so.
Okay,
We got some more invoices to talk about the library
do.
for. Can,
let's see where we are here.
So do we have this one?
Next item is the original TW Tetro bid for 184, et cetera. John?
And I had a conversation with Mike today. He reached out to the contractor reduced the invoice set by $7,510. Thank you, Mike. So that reduces it from 205,310 to 197.
to 190.
197.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a sec here. Rosemary, do we have enough money in our account to clear this check?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'll find some.
Are we receiving reimbursements that we should be?
Waiting for some.
You're still waiting for? Hmm,
So this doesn't show the credit.
yeah, it shows it right here.
Yeah, it was on the extra sheet that I passed out for you. Oh, should have a 10 on it.
Okay, it's not on the original. I got it.
Yeah, it'll have this on the side.
No, because I got this like right before the meeting.
Yep, got it.
So I'm gonna make a motion to amend the select board's previous motion of $184,100 for these services to $191,050 for this work, and you'll notice that that is the amended amount of $197,800 minus $6,750 that we just saw for a change order, which we will need the contractor to verify why they did not complete the work.
So question
I think we might be dealing with two different contractors.
Yeah, I think so too. John, go ahead, please.
Well, one of the questions I have is, this is something that I don't know about, is repair requested by the Wolf Engineering on 12/5/25. You know.
That was the fire marshal required that work.
Okay, so is that something that we can go back to the first contractor on? Or is that different? And then the installation of structural fasteners and foam insulation excluded from the original scope of work. Is this
That's
something that,
excluded from back 40's original scope.
right, so this is something that they found out they needed and they had to add, so
Mhm.
I don't think we can penalize. The original contract for that.
I think we ought to take care of the 197,800. And if that contractor had something to do with it, we can revisit that at another time. I'm sure that dealing with that contractor, that if it's on his dime, he will make it right.
Okay.
So I can't influence your amendment, but I would certainly hope that you would just consider the 197.
So you're against the change order, even though it wasn't the responsibility, and then we talk about the contractor whose
We don't know for
responsibility it
sure.
may have been.
You're just saying you don't know for sure if it was GW Tetro's responsibility, correct?
No, because I think Peter was saying there that the Wolf Engineering, that was at the request of the fire marshal.
And
then
that was,
The installation of structural fasteners and foam insulation excluded from the original scope of work. I mean, that sounds like,
Nobody even knew about it.
right, that back 40 said, look, we need this. It wasn't included in the original scope of work. So to include it, we're gonna have to add it.
And it wasn't the original scope of work probably for GW Tetro either.
Well, that's
we
what
need to pull up
That's what we need to
the,
check.
the
We need to
RF,
check.
yeah, the RFPs and the bids and double check all that.
Yes.
But
So in that case, that we need to take care of the invoice that's at hand of 197,800.
If there's no second to my motion, I would say let it die.
There has not been so far.
Declared dead.
Good.
Do it.
I was dead on delivery.
Will there be a funeral?
Is there another motion?
I move that we pay GW Tetro his revised price of $197,800.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Yes, there will be about the reason, and I don't know where you want to discuss it, Mr. Chairman. But there was an $8,500 bill for cutting concrete on that foundation that Dale Tetro bill that was unneeded, and it was caused by the architect. So this will be another discussion, but I want to go after the architect for the $8,500 because it was their fault that we had to spend $8,500 to cut into that foundation. And so it's not going to be discussed right now, but as soon as this vote is taken, I would like to bring it up.
Okay, separate discussion. Any other discussion with regard to the motion at hand, which is to pay GW Tetro's invoice of $197,800? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those against?
Now, getting back.
All those
to-
abstaining?
Abstaining.
Excuse me,
Okay,
excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
the ayes have it.
Do I have the floor on this concrete cut?
You do. Go ahead.
Okay, so when the forms were pulled, shortly thereafter, I went down to the library, to the new position where it is in. And the first thing I said to myself is, where's the hole to get into the old building for the utilities for the addition? And so I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, a first year high school mechanical drawing student would know to put a hole in there for access, egress, or utilities right now. So John and I, with the help of Lydia, we located the prints for that foundation. And we found that spot where it was, and there was dotted lines, and didn't it say cut at a further date? Correct? Okay, cut at a further date. So I call the architect up and I asked him, I said, what in the world is this all about? And then come to find out, Dale Tetro actually talked to the contractor too,
To the architect?
to the architect, okay? And he says, no, that'll be done at a later date. Well, that's foolish. I asked the architect, why wasn't it done then when they were putting the forms in? He said, well, there was no way to support the building. Well, good grief, the building was already supported by the cribs. It was all cribbed up. It was all supported. I said, all they would have had to done is put a cut in there and a header, just an I-beam in there. And then it would have been rested down on top of it. You could have had a complete door in there so people could have walked in and walked out during that whole process. So as far as I'm concerned, the mistake was made by the architect. And it cost an extra $8,500 for no reason at all. And we have spent over $100,000 with that architect. And that's something that they should have known better about. And it really irritates me, to tell you the truth. And if they'd been working for me or whatever, you know, I wouldn't have paid that. I would have said, you're responsible for that $8,500. So I think we ought to hold $8,500 worth of payments to the architect for that snafu.
Were those the architect's drawings or the structural engineer drawings?
Appeared as if they were the architect, because the architect knew all about it. We can get it sugared out. We can hold payment on that and then let them fight it out. But I don't think we're trying to save as much money as possible on this library. We need to have a little responsibility and go back after these people that are making these mistakes that we are having to pay for. It's ridiculous.
Rosemary, where do we stand with respect to invoices from the architect? Do we know?
We have one in this set of orders, about $6,000.
And I said no, and Evan said no on that.
Yeah, I put my initials by it.
Right.
That's
I
three
haven't
initials.
reviewed it here on the floor.
And we'll get more bills for them. It'll sugar off in the end, but we'll feel good now.
So we don't need to do anything immediately. You're just saying, they bring up for advisement that we should.
I'd start holding payments now. I start with the 6,000 and change. That's our current bill on that.
What's the board's pleasure here?
I really. I want to be sure we're done in the right person.
Sure, what?
Well, I talked to the architect, and that's exactly what he told me.
All right. Well,
Well, you'll cut it at a later date, says it right on the print.
So John, you've looked at the drawings and they are at the architect's drawings, not.
I'll go back and double check tomorrow and I'll forward a copy to the board.
Would you be comfortable if we just hold off on action on this until everybody's had a chance to?
Sure, I mean, I don't want to get into something that's going to get voted down. I'd rather have all the ducks in order, so the board's in concurrence with each other.
Okay, thank you. Everybody else good with that? We'll look into this further. Okay. All right, thanks, Mike.
Certainly, thank you.
Appreciate all the work you're doing on keeping an eye on this.
That's why we need a clerk in the works.
I try to save 6,700, say I'm a fool, and then you want to show me.
I didn't say you're man. We don't, it was talking about the scope of words. Is it different?
Okay, let's move it on, folks.
I
Next
know.
item, I believe, is the Marvin Award discussion.
Paul,
Kevin. Can I skip some?
this is one of the fun ones where we can actually not, like, everything we have to do is in the public eye, but what I would recommend is that people that have ideas for Marvin Awards, email them to you and John, and I trust you will select a decent candidate out of the pool, and that way it can actually be a surprise for whoever it's.
I was wondering about that as
Devoted
well,
to.
as far as the secrecy issue of it.
It'll be public.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
When
Comments
it's
from the
awarded.
floor on Marvin Award candidates?
Are there any names put out for forward yet?
I've put some.
We've circulated some quietly, but not publicly.
It's important to
Feel
have.
free to email me if you have any. How about that? Just keep it secret.
It'll be public when it's.
So typically, how many awards would we give out?
There's one for projects and one for.
You know, we
service.
try for projects and service. Jim Marvin was from Johnson. We always, We always try to put in.
Nobody can live up to Jim Marvin, but they can receive his award.
Okay, any further comments on that? Send me your thoughts, and to me and John.
Like Lloyd Benson said, I knew John Kennedy. But you know John Kennedy, and I knew Jim Marvin, and you know Jim Marvin.
Okay, next item is item 12, formalize the committee reports to the select board. I asked that be on there just so we kind of get this going. What I was thinking is we just have a simple request for bullet point summary of actions to date and needs. Send that into John once a month. John includes it in his report to us, and then we can ask questions as we need to. I don't think we need to
Like that.
just see it up.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
kind of had like the bullet point thing for the once monthly deals. Maybe blow it up to a different one.
as we go forward, I think in our planning mission, we might also like. I think you tried this once before, like segregate the meeting, like we, it's like
Yeah.
this meeting, this and that. So we can decide whether it's first meeting or second.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have a consensus. All right, enough said on that.
I make a statement? No. I'm just what Paul was speaking about. But, this is fine for now, but I would suggest that, if you get into a CPS, they might report might go to them, or might go to. There might be a lot of, that they can report in person.
Mhm.
Certainly, yeah, I think we'll start with John, but yeah, if we have a CEDS, and certainly they'd be included. Yeah, good point. Thank you. Other comments? Okay, next item is signing the board appointment letter. We already did that. So we'll pass over that one. Sorry, you guys are so far down on the list. I'm not sure why that is. Covered Bridge Society, John.
Yeah, so I got a email. Rosemary made me aware of it, and it's for the Vermont Covered Bridge Society. Annual dues is $100 a year. One of the advantages about being part of it is we would be eligible for a $1,000 grant for repairs to our covered bridges. And then our covered bridges could be featured on one of their programs.
Mr. Chairman, that's a no-brainer, $100, you make 900.
No guarantee that we'd be.
Yeah,
True,
one that
but
would
we
get
have
it,
a
but
chance.
we would have a chance.
And then plus we get publicity about the bridges.
And we would also, if we had issues we could rely on them for expertise for repairs, history, whatever we need from that group.
If you'd like a motion,
I hear a
Mr.
motion,
Chairman,
Mike?
I'd give it to you. I make a motion that we give $100 for the yearly membership to the Vermont Covered Bridge Society.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
Money's flowing.
Those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed?
You're good. Can you talk with Jason and see what the plan is for Scribner Bridge?
Yep.
I know it's kind of been a fill-in project. I'm not saying it needs to be done tomorrow, but it'd be cool if it got some in love this summer. And if they have too much, could we talk about it in a meeting? About maybe doing an RFP or something, and we have a
Yeah.
bridge and culvert reserve fund, we could bring money in for it.
Yeah, let's see where they stand. Okay, next item is review and discuss office roles following Rosemary's retirement, which is scheduled for June 30th. What year is that?
2030.
2030, that's what I thought.
I heard 2030 over here.
15 years out.
I'll read the rest of this, which says Rosemary has been the backbone of the municipal office. We just need to decide how to move forward following Rosemary's retirement. Questions include the division of work between village and town employees. We'll be performing Rosemary's town workload and have sufficient time to train Rosemary to understand the treasurer and clerk's role. Board may wish to consider municipal clerk / treasurer or a split position. And I'll leave it there. John.
I did have a chance to sit down with both Lydia and Susan, get their input on the position. Susan indicated she would be comfortable taking the clerk's position. And Lydia indicated she would be comfortable taking the treasurer's position. Both felt comfortable, confident that they could do the work.
Okay, a couple of things, I guess. First of all, I think John looked into whether we can promote from within versus posting, and we can.
And I looked at the personnel policy.
Yeah.
And the personnel policy said we would post it 5 days internally and then post it publicly. So, I mean, we could go through the motions, look at our candidates, but I think we got 2 qualified candidates in-house. That would probably be on top of my list.
Definitely.
Yeah. I guess I would suggest we start this conversation with, are we agree that we're separating the staff between the town and the village in the office? I think that's kind of step one, because it lays out what the positions might be. And then secondly, then we consider the positions, and do we want a town clerk and treasurer and an assistant for both, or do we want to split them, or what? With regard to question number one, I think we've discussed it in the past, but we've never voted. Do we have a consensus of opinion that we think it's worth a smart move rather to separate the duties of the town employees and the village employees in the office?
I've been a proponent of that right from day one.
I'm good with that.
I'm in favor of that.
The village posted for the village treasurer today.
Right.
And the village is going for.
Well, there's no
dedicated
mention of the
president,
clerk,
Probably.
so they're
I
going
think-
halfway, it looks like.
The village clerk is very minimal,
It's the village annual meeting.
basically.
Okay, so do we think we know what that entails in terms of separate windows, separate PCs, different software, new office? What all the various considerations that,
Apparently, there is a difference in software, correct?
Village will need- It's my understanding that the village will need new software. They're doing the database conversion. And what that will entail, I think is still unknown at this time. It sounds like the general ledger will not be integrated into our Remrick software. So there are a lot of things that have to be figured out on that end as they go through this process of changing out electric meters, switching over systems, and then figuring out the financial piece.
so they're switching their financial software, but we're not. That,
We're using Network, it still serves our needs. I don't see any reason that we would want to spend money unless some idea came forward that I'm not aware of.
what are they changing to, and do we know
They
why?
don't know for their municipal budgeting stuff, they don't know that yet. They know they're doing the utility billing section, but I don't think that company does all the other pieces.
Yeah, they're mostly switching because they're utilities.
Yeah, I think the state's forcing them to do something.
Well, they're AMI meters and there's all of
Okay,
it.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So currently, when a customer comes in, we share a cash module through Nemrick. And so currently, if someone comes in and they're paying utility bills or taxes, village or town taxes, dog licenses, whatever, that cash module accommodates everything. Sounds like that's not going to be the case. Because they're going to not be using Nemrick for utility billing, they're going to be using some other software. Which those balances won't be in Nemrick, so there's going to be another variable that at this point we don't know what that is and how that's going to work.
so we just have to have two completely separate systems. Somebody comes in and pays by check, they have to bring two checks. One to the town, one to the village.
That's my understanding. Is that your understanding, Rose?
And there sometimes the checks are combined. Currently,
Yes.
people don't know if it's town or village.
And we just tell them to separate it.
Okay.
We would just tell them to rewrite
Yeah,
two
we have
checks.
to make this public and everybody know and so forth.
I mean, timing's not perfect. I almost feel like
When is it?
we should. Never perfect. I almost feel like we should have a joint meeting and come to a consensus. I know, when I was chair, Adrian and I met with the chair and vice chair of the village, and, we disagreed on certain things, agreed on other certain things, and came back, and ultimately, I think the best for each municipality is some dedicated employees. I think that's partially why the village is seeking a dedicated treasurer. And I think looking for some help from the town, but very messy how it's done now. And if the village is hiring another treasurer and we split employees, that's the decision we really have to have. And then we have to have a conversation about the office. Because if the village is hiring a treasurer and we're gonna make this decision later, we decide to have a separate clerk and treasurer. I do believe, I don't know which one needs the door in the box, because certain treasurer handles town's funds.
We need the doors at locks.
I'm saying, like, there are certain.
If we
things
had a
that need to
treasurer
be
and a
aligned.
clerk, do we need two offices locked for the town?
No, do we need filing cabinets for something? I don't know.
We may need a few more filing cabinets, yeah.
We're gonna need more offices. There's more people going in downstairs.
There'll be one more person.
One more person. We're already tight.
Well, there should be one less person.
Well, yeah, Rosemary.
No, where Nate sits. He should be over in his garage at some point. In May.
Right.
And your seat will be vacant at some point
Mhm.
in 2030.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like if
I agree.
we're separating, I could see it being very advantageous for a municipality to take the back room. It has entrance from the back stairs, it has its own area for a window, kind of like Hyde Park used to be. Village this door, town this door. It's very confusing for people because we're half
People
married.
don't know. People don't know whether it's town or village.
We're half married.
What's the
and it-
percentage of people that come for village needs versus town?
In general, in my, depending on if it's taxes, of course, it's
Yes.
down, but
And dog time, it's
but 90% of the
Dog
time.
license.
dog places.
So
Summer
I think it'd just be a matter of the
registration.
village employee saying to a town employee, hey, they're here for the town tax payment or whatever. And that would happen 1 out of 10 times. So it would just be the village window, basically, with sometimes,
Well, if we're keeping everything downstairs, we could,
I don't think we need
Okay.
separate windows, is what I'm saying.
no.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to think through, and I agree with part of what you're saying, is should we be meeting with the village trustees prior to making some sort of a vote or decision tonight? Because it just seems like an odd thing to do without talking to them. Notwithstanding the fact that they've already done it without talking to us, so.
Yeah,
Well,
they've already-
not completely, because, the chairs and vice chairs got together
Yeah,
and we kind of
When
came
was
to
that?
July, June.
Oh, more recently than I thought, okay.
Last year. And we kind of came to a general idea, so I don't feel slighted that the village is looking for a treasurer.
So
I
why
think
do
probably
we-
the needs for the village have grown.
Yeah, they're gonna have
Years.
quite a few big projects, the sewer plant, and they're talking about a sidewalk project across the road. That's a big project.
And I think you work more than one person's job.
Yes,
So. Are you saying we should talk to the trustees prior to making a decision, or we should not? I'm
You
confused.
should. I don't know how far it'll go, but you should at least talk to them.
I don't know how far it'll go, and I don't know if we should actually. I feel like now would be the proper time to. Divorce. Sounds really bad, but I keep saying, joking around, that we're half married, we're paying for half employee services. 60% here, 20% there. It's very, very jumbled and messy, and the public has complained before. And continuity of service is also important to me, but I feel like you need to have 2 separate locations if you want there to be clear delineation. Does that make any sense?
It should have been done a long time ago, and it's been kicked down the can for years.
Well,
Okay,
Yeah,
let's,
I think
so we're
yeah.
talking about kicking it down again.
Yeah, well,
Why don't we
we're
just-
we're not kicking it too far this time. We're gonna get something done.
And I hear you. I just don't want to be the one to make the decision in the silo and have upset feelings on the village's side because
Because we care about their feelings.
Evan is sensitive as
It's-
gold.
it's the one on the street. So you're saying it's a one-way street?
Yeah.
kind of calling me
I'll
out.
be the mushy one all the
Yeah.
time, sending them love notes or.
I do believe that the town has funds to fund 2 full-time positions in our budget, and it would make not a difference, payroll benefits. And I have always been a proponent of hiring from within when possible.
Mhm.
I don't know if I personally want to split the positions, but I'm not really against it. I just need to think it over more.
It's kind of a new way to think about it. Other comments with respect to the village before we make a firm decision?
I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I'm fine having a joint. I think we can make our own decision right now. And we can also meet with them to talk about logistics of it after this. They've already made their decision. I feel like we can make our decision. It's a clear decision. So I don't see the harm and I don't think they'll get upset.
Okay,
They don't get upset.
skip ahead.
Well, we just need to go forward for what's best for the town. That's what we need to do, because that's who has elected us, the town. Even though they are village residents that have elected us, our responsibility is for the town. Theirs is for the village. They make their decisions in good conscience for their constituents, and we should do the same for ours.
Agreed. It doesn't mean we can't be collaborative where the opportunity presents itself. At
True,
least
but
communicate.
unfortunately, sometimes the more cooks you have, the more they spoil the broth.
Peter, your thoughts fucking hard.
I mean, logistically, I don't know what it would look like.
Well, even if we decide tonight, it's not like we're gonna go downstairs and start building walls. There's a lot of, we're not gonna do anything tonight besides decide. So whether we wait 2 weeks and decide or wait till after a joint meeting, it doesn't seem like it makes much difference, frankly. I think seems like there's pretty good consensus. We have enough money for 2 employees. We want to have 2 employees. We have 2 positions we need to fill.
I think
We
the
do that.
consensus here is that we're divorcing from the village, for lack of a better term, and separating
Right, we're just.
services. And so let's go ahead and do it.
I'll move that motion.
Can I ask a question?
How to make them motion a little more specific.
Yeah, I just kind of threw that out there, you know, that,
Well, I was talking about.
Oh, there's a question.
Yeah, I always love. You know, after 10 minutes of discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, pal.
yeah, what chief, yeah, what chief?
Before we do that, do you have a question?
I do have a question. I mean. I can't see there being hostility in the office for our current employees by making this decision, but. Seeing
How do you girls feel about it?
clearing airs.
I'm for separation from the. I'm fine with it. I mean, I think that we're still gonna work as a team, whether we're town or village employees. I don't think that's gonna change. I don't think we're gonna have separate Christmas parties. You know, I mean, I think we're all gonna work together. I think there are logistics that need to be detailed and figured out. I think there will be a different way of doing things than what we have always done.
The cash piece is the biggest hurdle.
What is?
The cash piece.
You
Yeah,
can't intermingle. You're gonna have to have separate drawers.
Mhm.
And you're gonna have to do separate deposits. You know, right now I do a deposit for all of the entities. And move money around and all of that. You're not gonna be able to do that anymore.
It's gonna be cleaner to be separate though.
It would be,
but it's gonna be.
The state sends all the pilot money to the town.
Even worse.
We're not.
Look at that grin.
Yeah.
Hey, we looked after our constituents.
That's just the,
You're still gonna have an oil bill to heat the building, that's going to have to be paid by both.
Mhm.
You know, you're
Unless you
still gonna have.
totally
To do fronts that
Do
we.
that and one attend to the rents from the other ends.
Well, we've suggested that before, and it falls on deaf ears. So,
There's a lot of shared bills for this building.
for this building and
I wish the town owned the building
The other.
and we charge them rent. That's what I would like to see.
they should all be shared for like cold storage and mill house too.
And that they are shared,
Yeah,
shared bills.
heat, electricity, water, sewer, right, every bill. Just heat, internet for a year. I don't know if they have internet at cold storage. But
No, not a cold storage. no.
well, we should. Public Wi-Fi.
I mean, depending what your pleasure is in doing, all of these details can be sorted out. You know, they can be figured out. It just depends what you wanna do.
So the village is advertised for a village clerk and treasurer,
Treasurer.
Just treasure.
just the treasurer.
Just a treasurer.
Yeah, they
So they
put an
went
ad on
halfway.
Vermont League of Cities and Towns.
And it was on their Facebook page.
John, hold that up again. That says village clerk, not treasurer.
Whatever.
It says village clerk, but it says key responsibilities of the treasurer and then preferred qualifications.
Yeah, 'cause I read it on the website. It's all about the treasurer position.
Yeah, weird. I'll make a motion to split or I'll make a motion to
Separate.
separate our employees with the village to have,
You start the
Yeah.
process of the divorce.
yeah,
Is that the way you want to say it?
sure.
Okay, second.
This isn't a motion. You know, if,
Why?
I mean, making a motion and doing it would imply that. When you go in tomorrow, Lydia, I don't wanna be reimbursed from the village for your time, and I don't want to be reimbursing. You know, making a motion to say split
You
is
should
split.
say as of
So maybe we should.
We're-
fiscal year.
We can amend it to start the process.
Start the process.
Start the process.
Sure.
Okay.
Friendly
You
amendment?
just make a motion that we start the process of splitting with the village,
Yes.
and I'll second.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Do we want,
I knew you had something to say.
and do we want a report back from? Employees with a couple of recommendations, the ultimate decision lies here for the town employees. And village with the village employees, but. I don't want a grudge match between the town and the village
Right.
to turn into. Adversarial relationships in the office, I'd like some feedback, understanding that the decision sits with us.
Didn't they just say that that wouldn't happen?
Feedback.
Just kind of said, start the process, who starts the process?
Well, Lydia said she's in favor of separating and Susan said she's okay with it.
I just think there are logistical details that need to be.
So when you're asking for
Worked out.
feedback, are you talking about the logistics we need to figure out or?
Can you give us a list of crap we gotta figure out, somebody?
Oh,
I don't,
mhm.
Why don't everybody kind of work with the town administrator on this? You're in the office all the
Yeah.
time. You talk with them. Come up with some kind of a plan for us.
Okay.
You know, that's what
I feel like we gotta change the flow of the office.
that is the
Okay, so
beginning of
motion
it.
on the
This is the
floor
beginning of the process.
is to begin the process of separating the town and village office employees.
Call the question, Mr. Chairman.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against? All those abstaining?
I'm gonna abstain.
You did abstain.
Yeah.
Okay. We have an
Oh, that's a
abstention.
first.
All right.
No. Somebody write that down.
see like,
Yeah, I know. This is another.
Okay, and then do we need to figure out the positions tonight? Or,
Why don't that be part of the process? In that way that everybody that's involved with it can come to their own consensus and be happy with it.
I like where Adrian's going. Can we get a general consensus from the board? Maybe no motion needed. Maybe info from Rosemary. Do we keep it town clerk treasurer with assistant, or do we separate it town clerk, town treasurer?
Is there an advantage, Rosemary, in having those two positions headed by the same person?
We were looking through the League of the Cities and Towns salary survey, and the Secretary of State's office puts out a listing of clerk and treasurers. There's about a 40-60 split of them being different, 40% being different person for both positions.
Well, we would lose our assistant, but there'd be some sort of assistant responsibilities for each.
Yeah, because you have to have at least 2 people in a bank.
You have to have checks and balances.
Yes, you have to check the balances, definitely.
The Secretary of State's office was 48 and 52. So it was much closer, and that represented 258 now. The other one only represented 107.
I'm in favor of a town clerk and town clerk / assistant town treasurer, and then town treasurer, assistant. You know what I'm
Town
saying?
clerk, yeah. So they back each other up.
Yeah,
I'm not in favor of the titles wise like that, but. I
You can
see-
call it something different.
Right,
You could just call it town clerk and town treasurer and say part of your duty is to back up.
Right.
it's like structured in job description or.
that's fine.
Or policies or whatever.
Mhm.
You could be town clerk, deputy treasurer, town treasurer, deputy clerk.
Yeah,
That would fit the bill, right? Rosemary?
Yes.
and you guys are in favor of that?
I'm happy to do whatever the town suggests.
Okay.
Happy to do whatever.
Careful now.
Mhm.
We're looking for somebody else with a CDL.
But now we're gonna have to come up with some kind of compensation, so.
Hmm?
You change
Yeah,
the
that's
job
something we'll
descriptions,
discuss.
so you have to change their pay.
Mhm.
You have to, I mean, we probably would, I think there.
We have to, we really do, if you change somebody's job description. Even if they're agreeable to it, you have to compensate them.
You were just trying to get John to do a CEDS for free and now.
Well, I'm just
half an hour
saying.
later.
I-
Oh, we have the
No,
letters.
No, listen, no, we have to do certain things, and all I was asking is to give John a chance to do what he can do. Without spending $100,000 for another.
Well,
Says-
step 1, can we decide, are we all okay with town clerk, town treasurer?
Thank you for bringing us back. General consent.
Fine with it.
Yes.
The two women over there that are gonna do it, they're fine with it, we're fine with it.
Okay, so that's decided. Okay.
You didn't really get to
Motion, we have
speak, but-
Consensus.
Mhm.
We're making progress. Thank you for bringing it back.
Now we're gonna have to go through the process when we get to it, to post it, and then go to the outside.
You
you
said
can-
we have to post internally.
Internally.
Internal.
Post internally. Up for up to 5 days before we post externally.
Yeah.
If you don't have any
How long-
qualified
That's what
Isn't it,
For
if you don't have
top-
any qualified candidates, then you have to post it externally.
Oh, okay,
But if we have qualified candidates, we don't have to
We don't
have to do it.
okay. Can you
As long as
post
it's
it?
by the buck.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, we have to read it again, make sure, but I think that's.
the company that I came from, even though they had qualified candidates for positions within the company. For some dumb reason, they still posted it for the outside, which was dumb because they were gonna give it to one of us anyway. And all they did was waste people's time, thinking they were gonna get a job.
Since I've been with the town, we've always posted it. A fair process. I don't.
If it's legal not to, then we don't need to do it.
Are we all okay with John posting it internally and following that process?
Yes, do it.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm okay.
we also don't want them applying for the village treasurer role. I want them on our side.
I'm okay with John. Working with
We need that job
Rose.
description.
Rosemary preferably on a town clerk job description, town treasurer job description.
Mhm.
Now, either one are you gonna put in for village clerk? Or village treasurer? What's that?
Keep our cards hidden.
Oh, I know, and you've got them right up tight.
Mhm. So what it says for notification is after a determination of eligibility as per VAA above, a department head shall advise employees within the department of existence of vacancies to which they're qualified to be promoted. Such notice may also be posted in the town office for a period of 5 days prior to advertising in the local media, except in emergency hire situations.
So we still have to do
So
it,
that's a little bit vague.
It's a little bit different than the village.
yeah,
policy.
If it was an emergency hire situation,
yeah. We'll just call it
We're
emergency.
gonna- I'll drop dead, how about that?
No,
Oh, please don't.
so grim.
But you would be willing to do that for the town. We're gonna have to put you in for the marvin award for that.
I already got one, I don't need another one.
We'll give you one posthumous.
Okay, so John, you have homework. Next meeting, job descriptions?
Yes.
Drafts?
Yes.
Do we need to?
Work with,
Work with the office.
We need to approve
VLCT probably has a really close.
Yeah, because I think we already have job descriptions for the clerk and the treasurer.
You already.
gonna be the job.
We
Two
approved
years ago,
one.
2 years ago.
We approved one.
2 years ago, you approved 2 separate ones.
Uh,
Don't
my,
argue with it.
my recollection is we approved an offer letter. And there was still some amendments to make to the job description.
Yeah, they were very minor things, so.
They were
I thought
probably
they were-
small.
Do you realize who you're arguing with?
What are you guys arguing about anyway?
Yeah,
Are we arguing?
yes.
We were talking.
Don't even question it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I think we have run to the end of that topic. Am I wrong?
That's gonna come up every meeting, so.
Well, maybe for tonight, I mean.
You know,
Yeah.
can I ask a question? Do employees that aren't required to be at meetings intend on being a part of these meetings?
What do you mean?
We're probably gonna be talking about this every meeting.
Yeah, I mean, this is my life, so
So,
of course, I think we're very.
As the
invested.
chair and vice
Important.
chair could you try to push this up and?
Near the front of the meeting,
Yeah.
Good
so you
move
don't
on.
have to be here so late.
Whatever time you want.
Well-
I'll be here.
Well, would you rather it be at the end of the meetings more or the beginning?
No, you guys. ran.
Do you want it at the beginning?
Getting past the time.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like kind of a more sensitive thing that you might
Unless
like
think
having
there's
at the
gonna be
end.
a Executive session for some reason.
Yeah,
We have.
Yeah, it might not be in front of Carl because he's got a long trip, but
Each
we can
meeting
certainly move it
will
up,
come
so.
very-
Mhm.
Yeah,
He
Okay,
likes to talk to.
well. Number one on the docket.
next item.
Second.
Review and discuss having a long-term goals planning meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thanks very much for being here.
We schedule that for late April. And
Yeah.
can I look up the structure that we talked about a couple years ago and send it to the chair and vice chair?
Yeah, sure.
Got all those sticky-
Sorry, could you say that again? What'd you say, Evan?
That was-
I'll be gone the entire last week of, oh, you said April, sorry.
I think May 18th is a good time to do it.
Good, I'll be gone. Have fun.
I will too.
I'm free any day in the last week of April.
What are we gonna do? Have a special meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
For what?
planning.
planning and projects.
Oh, another meeting.
Is there like a Google Calendar thing?
Yeah,
That we could
let's
do.
circulate dates.
People could just pick like
I've
6
got a lot.
dates or something.
I will circulate some dates since.
Any way we can start it a little earlier?
Yep, for sure.
We're talking about the last week of April?
Yeah,
No, the second
no,
last
not
week,
yet.
I was gone.
Earlier in the evening.
We haven't picked a date yet. I'm gonna circulate dates.
Okay,
Second meeting.
you're gonna get replies from everyone?
Hmm?
You're gonna get replies from anyone?
Yeah,
He'll get replies from me.
Okay.
Do I not reply to you, Paul?
you do? I'll just call you if you don't.
I've never gotten an email from Mike
I
before.
already started something. Stupid meeting.
You
I
won't.
have.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's actually increased.
How it works. Some people want to go to like one a week.
One in April, but
It's long.
possibly the week of the 27th. But, so think about that.
Like that.
Okay.
It's 10 o'clock, he leaves.
Who, Matt?
Matt,
Oh, yeah.
Really?
yeah.
Never did that.
Ready for X.
He did at least once.
Had a hard stop.
Or did you want to ask anything about the planning meeting?
No, I think we can
No, the tail end.
get
Okay,
together with them. So how does the last week of April, the week beginning 27th work for people?
well, are we deciding?
Now you put that thought in my head. We can
I'm
plan some-
available any day.
Deal.
Monday, I'm not available. After that, I am.
Sure, the corn.
Let's do Tuesday.
Sorry, we're back.
Like what?
What's the date we're talking about?
28th, 29th
Of April.
of April. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Sugar and should be done.
Tuesday,
No.
or either, I don't care. Tuesday's
I can
fine.
do either one.
Still be going.
Okay,
Eben and Mike, can you do Tuesday, the
I'm
28th?
sure they do.
Eben and Mike.
Tuesday, 28th or Wednesday, the 29th?
I'll come whenever you tell me.
Okay.
If it's okay with you guys, I prefer Wednesday. Is that
Okay.
work for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, Wednesday, 6 p.m.
We should just move our regular meetings to 6 o'clock. Makes more sense.
We could do that.
Okay.
Let's, yeah, not change it right now. Okay. Executive session.
We're there already. Now, what a quick meeting.
Paul's a good chair.
It's been freaking hard. All right, so, executive session.
I motion that we enter executive session for attorney-client communications. That's allowed by 1 VSA 313A2.
This is done.
Second,
All right. All those in favor?
That's
Aye.
premature public information.
Very good, thank
Place
you.
the town as.
That's what I was waiting for. Good man.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
oh,
Aye.
So,
who stays?
All of
Who's
us.
invited?
All of it.
We should start inviting her.
Huh?
Rosemary invited?
Depends what you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not,
so I'll end the Zoom session?
Yes.